Hello, loves. Long time no hear from. The energy has been extremely thick. There's no way to chop us through it, okay? The truth of the matter is that a lot of people are dealing with some serious energy right now, all right? It's karmic, it's real, and sometimes it's hard to hold yourself together in a situation like this. You lose yourself at times in relationships, and finding yourself again is a job. It's serious work, okay? Now, I'm going to go into detail with why this is happening and the energy behind it and what is to be expected from you during this time. There are a lot of separations going on, a lot of heartache going on, and it's very intense energy. There's no way to sugarcoat it, okay? Times are tough for a lot of people, okay? Bottom of the deck, okay? This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. People's hearts are broken at this time. A lot of people are really looking at the seriousness of their situation in terms of the relationship and if it's worth saving, if it's worth working on. You may have put a lot of time and effort into a relationship only to realize it's not standing the test of time. Some people have spent years in a relationship only to come to the realization that it's time to go. This is news of work. It's time to go. It's not working. You can't make something work and you're starting to lose hope. I don't do reversals and don't need to know which order these cards are coming in. You're now being independent. And it's a new feeling for you because you're redefining who you are outside of this relationship. If you've been in a relationship for several years and are coming to the realization that you're single and have to make your own money and take care of yourself by yourself out of principle, it's the principle of this person not contributing to the relationship, to the children, not putting in the same amount of energy into the household that you were. You come to the realization of this and you make a decision that you are no longer going to be taken advantage of, and really realizing that to some degree you contributed to this person feeling as though they could get away with doing so little and getting so much out of the relationship. This person was able to come and go as they please. This person had a lot more freedom and time to themselves, and you didn't. You had to hold it down, take care of business, make sure things were taken care of. You felt independent in the relationship anyway and made a decision to say, well, since I feel so alone in this relationship, I'm going to make the decision to be alone and not give this person the gratification of being in a relationship with me. And this person's not paying their dues to be in the relationship. This person is taking a lazy approach and all the responsibility is on me. You feel independent. You feel alone in this relationship, so you decided to be alone. You made that final decision. And your heart is broken that you had to make the decision, but you had to make the decision because you were feeling used and taken advantage of. You were likely in a relationship with somebody who took very little responsibility, and you had to take all the responsibility, and all the worry and obligation was on your shoulders. You see, these pentacles represent money, responsibilities. You felt single in the relationship. You didn't feel like there was a partnership. There was a lack in the relationship. And you had to come to the truth of the matter, which is this person is not putting in the same amount of effort and valuing the household like you were. You had to do something about it because it was nagging at you that you were feeling like you were doing all the work and getting so little appreciation for your efforts. And, you know, I'm feeling as though, see, this independence card right here, this Nine of Pentacles represents independence. Walking away from this love. Walking away from what was once considered to be love and realizing that it's not fulfilling your needs. It's not fulfilling those cups anymore. So you're walking away. You've made the choice that it's no longer fulfilling. And if one more person points out the fact that the relationship is not healthy and unfair, it's like you're losing yourself in this relationship and you had to do something about it. And you're redefining yourself at this time. To walk away from this many cups means you're walking away from a relationship that you were in for a while, that you put time, effort, and energy into. You likely have children together and a family together. When you walk away from this many cups, it's life-changing, it's life-altering. However, Spirit is redefining your value and getting you to realize that your value is more than what you were taught it was. And you're redefining what your value is and what love means. That love is not to be neglected, right? Love does not mean that one person gets to do what they want to do while the other person has to hold down all the energy and is really convinced that they are doing the work necessary to keep a family together. I don't know how many more times to say this, but a lot of people like the idea of having a family but don't want to put the work in for the commitment. The commitment requires work. You have hills and valleys in a relationship, and some people don't have the endurance to get through the valleys. And usually what I hear on the phone most is that one person was dedicated to the relationship and the other person did not understand what commitment really means. And you were really holding it down by yourself. You couldn't do it anymore. It was too in your face. You were forced to see the situation for what it was. It became loveless. You became resentful of this person not putting in the work like you. This is some heavy energy, guys, okay? This is life altering. It's disruptive in the household, to the children and to yourself. However, again, it's necessary for your self-worth, that somebody actually values you. And I always remind you guys that you were taught what your value is from being a child. If your parents treated you as though your best was to be expected and not appreciated, you take second best as that is your best offer, not realizing that you actually do deserve love, affection, care, attention, protection, a provider, someone who's a team player in the family, helps the children with their homework, all these things. It was in your face that this person was not putting in the same amount of work that you were, or you were forced to walk away. It was the principle of it. Person lied to you and sold you a pipe dream that they would be there and that they would be supportive. You were waiting around for this person to grow up and give you the same amount of love that you were willing to give in the relationship, only to find out that this person is incapable of that. Their perception of love and your perception of love is completely different, and you cannot accept their version anymore. I told you this energy is heavy. Ain't no way to chop or screw it, okay? So now you're pulling those knives out of your back. Because according to everybody that this person knows, you're the problem for standing up and saying this relationship is not fulfilling. I cannot continue to support this relationship. It's too draining. It's starting to affect my psyche. It's starting to affect my health. It's starting to affect everything positive about me. This relationship is starting to bring out the worst in me. I'm starting to feel betrayed, backstabbed, left behind, neglected. And this person sees no error in their ways. However, you're feeling betrayed. And you couldn't take, there was no more room for another knife in your back, especially from this person. You're likely becoming very defensive of anybody who tries to disrespect you or treat you less than. what you know you're worth. You know that you're working your ass off for your children. You know you're working your ass off to pay the mortgage. You know that you're working your ass off, and no one appreciates what you're doing. It feels very backstabbish. Feels like you have been betrayed. And when you come to the realization that you allowed this behavior, there's a whole process that takes place. You have to forgive yourself for allowing it. So then a part of you realizes that a couple of those knives you put in your own back by accepting the behavior to begin with. There are a lot of truths that are coming to the surface at this time for a lot of people, realizing, wait a minute, I allowed this behavior from the get-go. I allowed this behavior. I allowed this person to take off when they wanted to and not really have to answer for it. Or they answered for it, but they kept doing it. Each card is indicative of an energy. I'm telling you, see, she's got her sword out and she cut the relationship off. This represents somebody who already has experience, already has been through the motions, already has matured into a person that is not afraid to sit on the throne by himself or herself and will cut off any situation that threatens their well-being. The sword represents a cutoff. You made the choice to be independent because you were basically independent anyway. This person was not kicking in like they should. You had to do what you had to do for your own psyche and your well-being. It's time for a new chapter. It's time for a new rebirth. You're going through a completion. For some of you, the relationship that you were in, it really is over. It really is complete. This person is not going to change. This person does things like probably buys a new car when the house has a freaking water and power bill that is like thousands of dollars, and this person goes out and plays while you take responsibility, and it's starting to make you bitter staying in the relationship. So for your own happiness, you had to do what you had to do. This energy is very much in your face energy, and you're relying on your spirit guides and angels to get validation that you made the right decision, as you're debating on going back to the familiar, even though you know it's unhealthy and not perpetuating positive energy. The longer that you allow the energy, it will continue. You have to stand up for yourself. That's what this Queen of Swords represents. Cutting off anything that is unfair to you. Each one of these cards is indicative of having to make a difficult decision. Your decision is affecting not only yourself, but also your children and everybody who hears about it. However, you're coming to the realization that your life is to be lived for yourself, and you owe it to yourself to be fair to yourself, to give yourself what you deserve, and you're realizing that you have not had what you deserved from the beginning of the relationship. It's a hard pill to swallow. However, you are growing in the process. Storms do not last forever, even though this energy is heavy, okay? There may have been some disloyalty in the relationship. There may have been some just deliberate acts of inconsideration that you just could not take anymore. So with that being said, you're standing up for yourself and you're redefining your value by doing that. It's a process. It takes time. So for those of you who want a private reading to find out if you guys are going to reconcile, if there's a chance at reconciliation, or if this is something that needs to stop for your health and for your betterment, and you want some direction in your life, the information's in the description box. Keep your head up, guys, and know that you're not the only person in this situation. This energy is being shared by many. This independence right here, you were experiencing it anyway in the relationship. It's not too much of a difference. It's just that this person is no longer around. However, the adjustment is that this person wasn't around anyway and wasn't really helping anyway. So what's the huge difference? This person contributed just enough to make it look like they were the reason for everything being held together, when that couldn't be further from the truth. Their parents likely believe that they're actually, a good partner. Their siblings and everybody thinks that you're crazy for ending the relationship, but you know the truth that this person was not pulling their weight in the relationship, and it became too much of a burden to carry. Let's see what your romance angel cards have to say. Some of you just need validation that you made the right decision by ending the relationship, and you're trying to adjust to the new energy of being single. And it feels like a dragged out type situation where you guys may talk. You may want to get back together, but you know that there's not enough chemistry to keep the relationship going. You know that it's just going to be the same thing that it was before. And you don't want that anymore, because that's some dragging ass energy right there. It's just dragging out. This breakup is dragging out. It's like the thought is not going away. Unrequited love. Unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. And some of you are coming to that realization. All right. Thank you for listening, loves. Y'all hang in there. Everybody is experiencing the same energy, but coming to the same truth. And it's time to be loyal to yourself, and it's time to realize that you are worth every bit of attention and care that you give. And if you're not getting it back, then you need to do something about it. Otherwise, you are approving the energy of abandonment. And so you're starting a new chapter in your life, and you feel like you're in uncharted territories. And I understand that energy. And for some of you, there will be a reconciliation. And for some of you, it is a new chapter. And some of you want to know what the end result is going to be, or why this happened, so that it doesn't happen again. For those of you who want to know that information, book your readings, as I'm starting to open up my schedule for next week. Okay? All right, loves. Namaste.